Great seeing you back for Devos today. And today we're continuing what we've been doing all week long, and that is how do you spell success? And so what I want to do, I want to go back, first of all, look here. First we looked at S is for salvation and U for understanding. And here we're seeing C is for character. Now, if you guessed that, you did good. And I want you to see if you can guess it throughout the week here. Now let's look at character. Because this is what's important. I want you to create a spiritual momentum so that you can be blessed of God with His success. Now look with me in Romans chapter 5, verse 4. It says, "And endurance produces character." Do you see that? So if you ever wondered why you got all this problem and trouble and heartache, here it is. God uses that to build character in our life, and character produces hope. And you know, it's a good testimony when you have good character in front of other people. Now let's go to Proverbs chapter 22, verse 1. "A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, and favor is better than silver or gold." Now, let me illustrate this a little bit. Do you ever see, you've got those movie stars, and you know, they're very glamorous, and he's really good looking, and she's beautiful, and they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and they get married, and then they get married, and then they get married. Now, I want you to look at them, and so now we go into years. They've been through 3, 4, 5 marriages, and they got children. There's nothing honorable about their name anymore. And, you know, they feel bad about how their life has turned out, and they wish they had a better name than they did in success in this life. You know, when I think about this, I think about Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill, you know, he had been the Prime Minister of Britain, and they got through World War II, and he did amazing, amazing things. And so he was asked after the war to speak at a college graduation. And when he got up, he always said was this: "Never, never, never turn back." Okay, that takes character. That takes character. Now, let's go on here now to the next word. Now, I'm covering 2 words today. And the next one is consecration. Now, I'm going to bet you didn't guess that word. That's not a word we like using too much here today. But look here in Romans chapter 12. And I'm not going to read all this, but it says, "I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship." Now, then he goes on to say, don't be conformed to this world. Be dedicated to God. That's what consecration means. That I'm dedicated to God. That Jesus is number one. Now, you know, we have a lot of people that make a lot of decisions that, you know, they're going to put their body on the altar of sacrifice unto the Lord. But the problem is, it's a living sacrifice, and that living sacrifice keeps crawling off the altar, doesn't it? And we go back to the world. You want to have a good name. You want to be a man or woman of God, of good character. There's nothing better than to see older men and women that are godly and love the Lord, and they live that which they believe. Why? Because they're consecrated and they're dedicated to the Lord Jesus Christ. Now look with me in James chapter 1, verse 2. Notice here, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know the testing of your faith produces steadfastness." Do you see that? Again, I'll have people say, "Oh, you know, Pastor Mike, I can't believe that you've been going through all that." I've had people confront me at some disastrous, horrible things that have happened in my family. Not sinful, just pretty tragic. And they'll say, "Well, something must be wrong. It looks like the hand of the Lord is not upon you." But notice here, he says, count it joy when God gives you the opportunities to go through all of these trials. Why? Because it builds steadfastness in you. It makes you strong. It makes you powerful for the Lord. Notice here, he says, "And that steadfastness having its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." I find people that love the Lord and go through a lot of trouble. They're the strongest people I know. It's just stretch them and stretch them in their faith. Now listen, I want to challenge you to be a dedicated believer like that. Not to live like the world, not to act like the world, not to drink like the world. And people hear me say, listen, I can't say it's awful to have a drink, but I tell people boozers are losers. I just lay that out. Let's be dedicated to the Lord. Let's not play around with stupid things in this world like that. But so this is what I want you to do. I want you to now walk in his ways so that you are in position to be blessed.